All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about a story today that feels like it was ripped straight from a science fiction script, but believe me, this is very real. India has just made a massive leap forward in defense tech, stepping into a whole new era with a weapon that hits its targets at the speed of light.
So picture this, the National Open Air Range in Kurnool. The mission? To take on one of the trickiest threats in modern warfare. Not just one drone, but a whole swarm of them attacking at once. And you know, this isn't just a test scenario anymore. We've all seen how devastating drone swarms can be, overwhelming even the best defenses out there.
And the result of this test? A total success. The weapon didn't just hit the targets, it completely zapped them. We're talking fixed-wing drones, swarm drones, even enemy sensors, all taken out. And the craziest part? It all happened in just a few seconds. A silent, light-speed demonstration of some serious power.
Now, this wasn't just some small upgrade. This successful test is what a lot of people are calling a Star Wars moment for India's military. It is the very first time the country has successfully shown off a high-powered laser weapon, a true directed energy weapon, or DRDO for short.
The official name for this game-changing system is the MK2A. It's a 30-kilowatt laser weapon, and it's the crown jewel of a really focused long-term national project called the Sahastra Shakti program, which is run by India's Defense Research and Development Organization, the DRDO.
So we know it's a huge deal, but what exactly is this new weapon? How does it really work? And what makes it so different from everything we've seen before? Let's break down the tech behind this incredible achievement.
Okay, so at its heart, the MK2A is a directed energy weapon. Now, unlike a bullet or a missile that has to physically travel and hit something, a DEW doesn't fire a projectile at all. Instead, it shoots a super concentrated, powerful beam of energy, in this case a laser, to basically melt or disable a target instantly.
Let's look at the specs for the MK2A. First off, it's a completely indigenous system, which is a huge point of pride for India's domestic manufacturing. It's mounted on a truck, which means it's mobile and can get where it needs to go fast. Now, the power source is really clever. It takes 6 separate 5-kilowatt laser beams and combines them into one massive 30-kilowatt punch. Think of it like a giant weaponized magnifying glass focusing sunlight. And just to give you an idea of what 30 kilowatts is, that's enough power to run 3 whole houses at once, all focused on a single point up to 5 kilometers away.
A breakthrough of this magnitude doesn't just happen out of the blue. Nope. This is the result of a really focused effort that's been going on for more than 10 years, and it all started, believe it or not, with a research paper.
You can see just how deliberate the development was on this timeline. The idea was first floated back in 2012. From there, they built the 2-kilowatt MK1 system, then they leveled up to the more powerful 12-kilowatt MK2, and now we have the MK2A, the first real high-power version, scaling up the technology to a whole new level of capability.
So we've talked about the what and the how, but now we get to the most important question, why? Why is this such a revolutionary, game-changing weapon? What is it about lasers that could completely change how battles are fought?
Well, the first big one is just pure mind-bending speed. A missile has to actually fly through the air to get to its target. A laser beam? It's already there. There's no travel time, zero delay. The engagement is literally instant, which is absolutely critical when you're dealing with something fast, like a drone or a missile. The second advantage is just as big: cost. This completely flips the economics of warfare on its head. I mean, firing a multi-million-dollar missile to take down a cheap drone you can buy online for a few $1,000s, that's a losing game. But the cost to fire this laser? Reports say it's about the same as the price of just a few liters of petrol. Suddenly, defense becomes affordable and sustainable.
And the list of advantages just keeps going. Lasers are incredibly precise. They can target a tiny weak spot on a drone, which means less collateral damage. They're silent, so there's no big explosion giving away your position. They also get rid of the massive headache of transporting and storing tons of ammo. And they're perfect for taking on swarms, because as long as you've got power, you can just keep firing.
This achievement is bigger than just a new piece of hardware for India. It officially puts the nation into a very small, very exclusive club of world powers that have actually mastered this kind of advanced technology.
So, who's in this club? Well, until very recently, it was pretty much just the United States, China, Russia, and Israel. With the successful test of the MK2A, India now takes its place right alongside them. And make no mistake, this is a serious strategic race. The global market for these weapons is exploding, and right now, the United States is leading the charge.
holding over 41% of the market. That just goes to show you how important this tech is for future military power.
And just to put India's new system into context, we're talking about it being in the same league as systems like the US Navy's Helios, which gets mounted on warships, Russia's mysterious Peresvet laser, which something can target satellites, and of course Israel's famous Iron Beam, which works with the Iron Dome.
The 30-kilowatt Mk2A is a massive win, for sure, but it's really just the beginning. The ambitions for India's directed energy program are way, way bigger. The roadmap from here is pretty clear. First, they want to ramp up the power. Getting to 50 or even 100 kilowatts is what you need to take on tougher targets like fighter jets and cruise missiles. Next, they'll work on making the tech smaller so it can fit on planes and ships. Then comes integrating AI and machine learning to make the systems smarter. The plan is to eventually deploy these along critical borders and, down the line, even explore putting lasers in space.
And look, this isn't just speculation. The head of the DRDO, Dr. Samir Rayad, said it himself. Right after the demonstration, he stated, "This is a journey which has started today. What we gave you today, it's just the start of the journey." Now, of course, as amazing as this technology is, we have to stay realistic. There are still some major challenges to figure out. These weapons need a ton of power. They create so much heat that they need really advanced cooling systems to not melt themselves, and their effectiveness can be affected by things like rain, fog, or dust in the air. Oh, and they always need a clear, unobstructed line of sight to the target.
So here's the bottom line. India hasn't just built a new weapon, it's unlocked an entirely new kind of technology that's going to be fundamental to the future of defense. The challenges are definitely real, but the journey has clearly begun. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. As this tech gets better and better, from guarding borders today to maybe even dominating the battlefields of tomorrow, what will India's laser arsenal actually look like in 2035?